Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inconvenient Truths. Here's today's news in brief. You must have already read the report that Chinese researchers isolated and mapped the virus that caused COVID-19 in late December 2019, at least 2 weeks before the CCP revealed details of the deadly virus to the world. The information was obtained from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services by a House committee and reviewed by the Wall Street Journal. According to the documents, a Chinese researcher in Beijing called Lili Ren uploaded a nearly complete sequence of the virus structure to a U.S. government-run database on December 28. 2019. At that time, the CCP was still publicly describing the disease outbreak in Wuhan, China, as a pneumonia of unknown cause and denying that it was human-to-human transmission. The CCP only shared the virus sequence with the World Health Organization on January 11, 2020, and admitted to the Chinese public that the disease was human-to-human as late as January 20, 2020. For me, this new information is not surprising at all. Tell us about what you know about Shan Chao. Who is he? What did he tell you?
The Chinese scientist named Chao Shan institutional virology, and I knew him for a while.
I don't know whether you have watched an exclusive interview I did regarding how Shan Chao, a virologist and Wuhan Institution of Virology, admitted to my interviewee that as early as February 2019, his team was given 4 strains of complete coronavirus for them to test and to find out which one had the best ability to infect as many species as possible and how easily it was to infect other species, including human. Shan Chao called this virus a bioweapon and felt very guilty after he later saw many people were dying in Wuhan. That's why he chose to confess his secret to my interviewee in Wuhan. What kind of test and what kind of virus? I have pinned this 24-minute interview on my X account. If you haven't watched it yet, please go watch it.
In Nanking City.
The path to digging out the truth behind the virus has been long and difficult so far, but I'm glad that we have made one more discovery. Hopefully, the entire truth will be revealed one day in the future. I think we owe all those who were killed by this virus an answer. Yesterday, January 17th, the CCP released the population data for 2023, stating that China's population is 1.41 billion. However, an informant with knowledge of the internal data of the CCP's Ministry of Public Security revealed to the Chinese edition of the Epoch Times that China's registered population is only 1 billion. The informant, located in Nanjing City, Jiangsu Province, stated that he learned from internal CCP sources that the number of people who died due to the pandemic is substantial, and the current population is nowhere near 1.4 billion. He recently saw internal documentation from the CCP's Ministry of Public Security indicating that the registered population, as recorded in the public security agencies nationwide, is only 1 billion. You know, in China, everyone has a so-called hukou or household registration. Without hukou, you are virtually illegal in China. So in theory, nobody can afford to not have a hukou in China, as you can't do anything without hukou. So the number of people who are on this registration system should be closer to the true figure. Also, the 1 billion figure aligns with the data exposed during a hacking incident in July 2022, when the Shanghai Public Security Database was breached and hackers were selling information on mainland Chinese residents and the police case data revealing a population of 970 million at that time. According to individuals familiar with the management of China's public security database, this data represents the entire national population. Due to technical constraints, this database cannot be separated into different public security departments, indicating that China's population is close to 1 billion. In recent years, the Chinese economy has been continuously declining, facing crises in the real estate and banking sectors. Recently, due to depositors being unable to withdraw money, the Rural Consumer Cooperative Qinshui Pu branch in Bijie City, Guizhou Province, was vandalized, leaving the branch in chaos. So on January 16th, a netizen posted a video revealing the situation of the Qinshui Pu Service Department of the Guizhou Bijie Rural Consumer Cooperative being smashed. In this video, the hall with a sign reading China Supply and Marketing Bijie Rural Consumer Cooperative was in disarray, with rows of chairs overturned and spotted plants locked to the ground. This incident in the relatively remote rural areas of Guizhou illustrates that the financial crisis in China has already reached a critical point.
看弄好啊，老人把事不让进去。
This video shows that today, on January 18th, in Shahe City, Xintai, Hebei Province, the deposits of some Chinese Agricultural Bank depositors were turned into funds and could not be withdrawn. Dozens of depositors protested at the bank branch, but they were blocked outside by bank leaders and security.
你看这个多欺负人，气儿多碎人呀，都堵到门不让人进，啊，都是那个维权了，亏损被借。
So since April 2022, several village banks in Henan province have virtually gone bankrupt. They shut down online withdrawal and transfer channels overnight and prevented depositors from accessing their savings. The affected depositors reached 200,000. These depositors are still struggling to recover their savings, but the effort seems unlikely to yield any results. In addition, there have been numerous reports from netizens about being unable to withdraw money from banks or using various means to restrict depositors' withdrawals. Clearly, the liquidity of many banks have become problematic. Now, what we need to observe is how long banks can conceal their crisis. Once this crisis becomes unsustainable and widespread bank run occur, the consequences will be terrible. Chinese state media recently introduced an electronic product called the Xi Jinping Thought Power Bank. The product allows users to charge their devices while listening to Xi Jinping thought. On January 16th, photos of the Xi Jinping Thought Power Bank product went viral on Chinese social media platforms. The power bank is labeled with the slogan, "Charge your phone and power your thoughts." It is reported that the product was launched by the CCP's state media Guangming Daily and contains audio content from Xi Jinping's The Governance of China, Volume 124. The audio content consists of 560 episodes, each lasting around 10 minutes. To be honest, I was quite surprised when I saw this news. Many people in Western societies once thought that helping China improve its economy would lead to it towards democracy and freedom. However, reality has brutally shattered these illusions. This Xi Jinping Thought Power Bank serves as another reminder of how far China under CCP rule is from the civilization of the world. Well, that's all for today. Please don't forget to like and share my videos and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you. See you next time.